Hello, people. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's have a second here. I'm not even sure what the hell happened at the end of Danganronpa. Things started to get really, really, like, weird Matrix-y shit. So, like, I'm not even sure. But this set of Danganronpa, we're going to be going inside the ruins and sort of figuring that out. I'm still having problems, so I have my little spitty cup. And I have my juice that I'm drinking. Which, by the way, pomegranate juice, really good for you. Whenever you can. Alright, so let's just jump over because, hell, I don't even know what's going on. Alright, and then I will cut the music once everything cuts over. So it should cut over here, like right around here.
Danganronpa.
I wonder why it keeps reordering the sound options on this thing. Whatever. All right, so we were right at the end of chapter 5 last set, and I have no idea what's going to happen. Wait. Chapter 0? The hell? What? It would be wrong to say it was swaying from side to side. Said she's shaking rather intensely. The room I was in, shaking from side to side. Shaking was quite irregular. Just when you thought it was a series of small shakes, it would suddenly shake violently. And every time that happened, I'd have to steady myself with my foot. I couldn't stand up very well, but for me, it was comforting. I never thought not knowing what to expect could be so fun. So I was feeling rather excited. But I figured I'd get bored of that feeling soon enough. That's what I was expecting. For me, a person who is loved by talent, detecting regularities among irregularities won't be that difficult. How boring. Do you like ships? One. What? What are you doing there? Yes, I'd have a dark room. I heard a voice. It was clear and directed at me. You look like you were having fun. That's what I assumed. You do like ships, right? Ships? Oh, that's right. That's it. So this is a ship. You just realized that now? Is it really that funny? Hey, if you want, care to talk a little? The silence is starting to bore me. Instantly, I saw his true character. The overfamiliar attitude, the friendly smile. But under that thin skin, I could detect a foul, offensive odor. Some kind of putrid slime. In a sensible way, of course. How should I put this? It was a smell exclusive to those who were already finished. Nice to meet you. I'm Nagito Komaeda. Anyway, lucky me. Oh my god. My sinuses are not happy with me right now. So, we're dealing with that. It's been a while since anyone was willing to talk to me, so to share a room with a person like that, yep, I'm definitely lucky. Lucky? Ah, so that's your talent then. What a boring talent. A boring talent, huh? That's exactly what it is. For someone, but for someone I'm meeting for the first time to say that so suddenly. Ah, that's because I have luck as well. Huh? Even I possess a talent as boring as luck. Possess? Huh? I'm starting to get really interested. Who are you? You're obviously from Hope Peak Academy too, right? So you're one of us? But that's weird. This is the first time I've ever seen you. Hey, can you tell me why you're here? How did you end up here? How boring. Oh, I'm sorry. I often get told I'm terrible at making conversations. Not you. This world. Huh? This world is full of boring people. People who lack talent stick together and oppress those who do possess talent. Even though they know they're insignificant, they don't try to acknowledge their true superiors. They are profoundly desperate to drag them down to their level. And because of these bastards, this world has come to a deadlock. This world has stopped evolving. How boring. Excuse me. Well, the world is shaped by the will of the majority. It makes sense that it bends to those who lack talent. That's why we're in our present situation. Ah, perhaps. Does it have anything to do with the reason why you're here? Boring people make no contributions to the world. Not even a speck of dust. That's what my teachers taught me. That's why my teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. It looks like they had high expectations for you, huh? That's completely different from me. But what are you planning to do? Now that you've ended up like this, there's nothing you can do, right? Listen well. Using people is a talent too. Now, it is now my turn to use that person just as they used me in the past. That person? Are you talking about the ultimate despair? But how? I mean, they're already... I have it with me. The contribution that person left to me. Even now, it rests in my pocket. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely lucky. I can't believe I'm speaking with someone as amazing as you. Did he always have red fingernails, or am I just misremembering? And will I be able to see her again? Will I be able to see the person that I hate with every fiber of my being again? And this time, will I be able to kill her? The person I hate so much? Hate? Then explain your hand. Oh, this old thing. At the end of that bandage is a woman's hand, right? Huh? Isn't it amazing? I can't move it, of course. I mean, it's not my hand after all. But even now, it still hasn't rotted. Hey, maybe that means it's becoming one with me. Isn't it amazing? I successfully become one with the ultimate despair, my sworn enemy. I see, so you salvage the body. You really are a boring person. I don't want you to misunderstand. I just see her as my enemy, you know? Because she's my sworn enemy. Because I hate her so much. That's why I took her power. And for that, wait, huh? Do I hate her? That's strange. Huh? Huh? Look out the window. We're finally here. You're starting to see it too, right? That's Jabberwock Island, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? I wonder what's going to happen on that island once we get there. What's going to happen? I can already predict what will happen. I already know because I am loved by talent. But no matter what happens, it's of no concern to me. I will not be able to participate in whatever lies ahead. Really? I don't really understand, but I guess we have to part ways for a while. It's disappointing. We seem to get along pretty well. Hey, can I see you again? There's no reason we will ever meet again. After all, you are boring. Your talent, your thoughts, your entire existence is boring to me. You really don't play along, do you? Oh, shit. Tried to protect that one, but, need to blow my nose here. Ah, we're back with the MC again. Huh? What is this? It's a door. It's a door. A door? Why is there a door here? Where am I? How did I get here? Where am I supposed to go? Huh? Isn't this a classroom? But even so, it's a very strange classroom. Why am I in a place like this? I went inside the ancient ruin with everyone else. I arrived at a place that looked like a trial ground, but then why? Why is it not connecting? I don't know why I'm here. It's like there's no connection between how I left the trial ground and how I ended up here. It's just like before. We were all gathered in that classroom just before we arrived at Jabberwock Island. But where is this place? Is it somewhere on Jabberwock Island? The hell?
Ahem, ahem. Testing, testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system. Am I on? Can everyone hear me? Okay, well then.
Welcome to Hope Speak Academy, you guys. At this point, I shall explain the graduation exam to you all. So please assemble at the gymnasium immediately.
Huh? Did he say what I think he said? He definitely said it. He said, welcome to Hope Speak Academy. But why would this place be Hope Speak Academy? Not just that. What is a graduation exam? Isn't the killing already over? What is this? In a normal classroom, there'd be a window, but instead, there's an iron plate bolted here. When I tried knocking it out with my fist, this looks like it's a pretty thick iron plate. Is this to keep us trapped? What the heck? This place, when the iron plates are covering the windows inside the classrooms? Is it really Hope Speak Academy? Ooh.
No.
Huh. Even the hallway doesn't feel like a school at all. What a creepy place. At least it doesn't look like a normal school at all. It's definitely a lie. There's no way this place is Hope Speak Academy. Is this creepy place the Hope Speak Academy that I've always admired for so long? It's probably a building that Monokuma made to startle us. Just like the funhouse. That's right. That's definitely it. Monokuma said to come to the gymnasium, right? Then I'll go and I'll definitely clear things up. So we can't go on either of those. I mean, I know this layout really well. But I can't go in there. I can't go in there. Front door is still a sealed off door that I can't go through. Not there. Not there, not there. Gymnasium's here, right? Alright, I'm going inside. Something might be waiting, but I'm not going to cower away anymore. And so, I brace myself and cautiously open the door. This shit, what in the fuck is even going on? What in the fuck am I even like? Huh? I wasn't prepared for what was waiting me on the other side of that door. It was a normal gymnasium.
Damn right.
Yo, Hajime.
Yo.
You were the announcement and came here too. You guys heard it right.
What's going on?
What do you make of all of this? Monokuma said this place was Hope Speak Academy or something.
That is...
That cannot be possible.
Well, yeah.
You're right. Any way you look at it, it's impossible. Hello! How does it feel to return to the long-awaited Hope Speak Academy?
Right, you.
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 Where are we? Why'd you lock us up this time?
That's...
What a shock. I just told you the guys this is Hope Speak Academy.
Of course not.
There's no way in hell that is way too loud on my end. It should be fine on your guys' end, but on my end I apparently had it cranked up a little higher.
No, no.
Oh, but it is. I mean, this is definitely Hope Speak Academy. Well, what's left of it anyway. What's left of it?
What?
Didn't I tell you before? Unfortunately, Hope Speak Academy fell into ruin.
lies.
You're serious about that?
Stupid fool.
But of course, it fell to ruin. I mean, they were doing things that they deserve to be ruined for. What do you mean?
Like this.
I'm pretty disappointed. I went to all this trouble to bring you to Hope Speak Academy, and you don't feel surprised or nostalgic.
Fine, fine.
Oh well, it's like I did this for you guys. Even if you don't feel nostalgic, I'm sure someone is feeling nostalgic right now. Someone?
Don't fuck with me.
Enough with this bullshit. Just spit it out already. Where'd you take us, you bastard? Though I am not certain of my memories, I believe we entered the ancient ruin and...
In other words,
It means I made this Hope Speak Academy between that door, the door to the ruin, and the inside of the ruin. Between? What do you mean by between?
Hey, hey, hey.
What do you mean made?
what's this?
Oh my. Are your minds getting the grumblies and that only knowledge can satisfy? Good. Very good. It's fine to hurry along to the graduation exam, but it's in my nature to provide a little entertainment. You're planning on making us do something, aren't you?
No way.
It's nothing to be so cautious about. It's not like you'll be making life exchanges or anything like that. It's just a simple graduation exam. Then, what is the graduation exam?
Hey,
Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're going to finally graduate.
are you sure?
But on the other hand, I'm
about
worried
this?
about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world.
So,
That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. Huh? We're obviously going to get out. There's no way we'd stay here.
That's right.
This is just annoying. Hurry up and let us choose. Let us choose right now.
no, no.
Can't do that. The main cast hasn't arrived yet. Main cast?
Hey,
Meaning you guys are just extras until the guest of honor arrives.
damn it.
So enough complaining already. Hurry and start researching the outside world. What do you mean?
Uh-huh.
I have dispersed all teaching materials you need for your research throughout Hope Speak Academy. I don't think it needs to be said, but all the information is accurate and contains no lies whatsoever. Otherwise, the main cast is gonna hate me. So please rest assured and strive to do your best during your field trip. As usual, after leaving us with his cryptic words, Monokuma disappeared. Even if the setting has changed, even if the killing was finished, it was still the same as usual. What is going on? Outside world? Main cast? I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey.
Like, he kept insisting that this place is Hope Speak Academy. But that's impossible, right?
What are you saying?
How did we make it back to Hope Speak Academy from a tropical island in the first place? It's impossible.
It cannot be.
There is no place for Hope Speak Academy to exist on Jabberwock Island. I said I wanted to go back, but I don't want to go back to a creepy place like this. What does this mean? So many things happened so many things I don't understand have happened on the island. This building, is it really Hope Speak Academy? This is the Hope Speak Academy I've been admiring for so long? What in the world is going on here? Damn it, why is this happening? Why? was finally able to attend Hope's Peak Academy. I finally thought I'd become confident in myself. Even so. Even if I am a nobody, then you should have just left me alone. Why? Why do I have to go through something like this? Hajime, did something happen? Huh?
Hey, bastard.
Now's the time to zone out. I'm sorry, it's nothing. I didn't really get it, but is that all?
I'm gonna do it!
As long as I don't beat the crap out of Monokuma, nothing's gonna be solved. Is that what it means?
Hey.
Just, what the heck is Monokuma anyway? He's not part of the Future Foundation, right? If you say it that, then what is the Future Foundation? Even though Chiaki and Monomi are gone, the situation hasn't changed one bit, which means the Future Foundation wasn't our enemy. It's the only thing I could think of.
You serious?
So they're not World Ender? Then we really were tricked by Monokuma.
However...
The Future Foundation is responsible for trapping us on this island. Regarding that matter, I believe Monomi never once denied that. Yet they are allies. They might not just be allies. Maybe Monokuma's telling us to investigate that information on our own. Chiaki said she couldn't betray the Future Foundation. But if she were still alive, she would have definitely helped us. No. Even her just being with us would have been a big help. So what do we do?
Damn it.
That's obvious. We're gonna get out of here safely. We have to do that graduation exam, right?
So annoying.
I'm not really good at taking exams. I guess it's better than people dying.
Jeez.
Monokuma said there's something about a field trip, right? Is he telling us to investigate like we have been?
All right!
I'm gonna do it.
Prepare yourself.
Like...
We might be able to learn about something. Hope's Peak Academy? Maybe about ourselves? I don't care if we just don't know anymore. Can we just go back to our normal lives? I'm fine.
Hey!
Hey! We can go home when this is over, right? We can finally get off this damn island, right? Maybe. If that's the case, let's leave this island by any means.
Of course!
Hell yeah. Can I finally start exploring? He's right. Now's not the time to bemoan how unlucky I am. Where this place really is what happened to Hope's Peak Academy, none of that matters. What's important? I need to leave this island with the others. We sacrificed so many lives in order to survive just so we could do that. There's no way we can stop now, but... Monokuma should already know that's what we're thinking. So why did he say that? We have decided on our own whether or not we want to leave Jabberwock Island. You should already know the answer to that. We never chose to stay on this island.
Hey, hey!
What are we going to do? Can we start already? Thank God, Akane. This part is just dragging on a little bit. But what are we even looking for? Do we just have to investigate this weird-ass building?
Even so.
I don't think we're going to find the answers to all our questions inside this damn building. Well, I'll just go on ahead for now.
Oh.
Yes, because we're all just sitting here doing nothing. What's that idiot thinking, running ahead without being cautious?
Man.
Just isn't thinking about anything.
However...
It will be fine. There will no longer be any situations where we must exchange each other's lives.
All right!
We should do our best as well. Like they say, it's not scary if everyone stops at a green light. Maybe. If we stopped at a green light, we'd never reach our goal.
Jeez. You're pathetic.
Kane already took off on her own. It might be faster if we split up and look around. Like Sonia said, there's no more... If there's still... God damn. My sinuses are not cooperating with me talking much today. If there's no more killing, we don't have to worry about anyone betraying us anymore. Let's get this over with and go home.
Later.
Excuse me.
Oh my.
He's gonna chase after Sonya.
Miss Sonia!
Please don't leave me. Just a bit more and this is going to end. The only thing we can do is advance towards that hope. Even though I don't understand, and that's a lot of horrifying things keep happening. For the sake of everyone who couldn't make it this far, I'm definitely gonna go home.
I knew you could do it.
Okay. So now we leave the gym and go back? Wait. Huh? That's weird. This is the hallway I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but it's clearly different. What's Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? Hang on a second. You know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. And I'm desperate for this shit to stop. So... This is gonna look real weird, but by God, does it work. Oh. And yes, this works. I don't know why it works. I think it's because it's like preventing my sinuses from like just closing ever so slightly. I just have to position it in such a way that like it will not pop out of my nose when I'm trying to talk. And it'll also help get the stuff out of my sinuses. So, yes, we're doing this. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent. But I'm not going to fall for his trap. There's no way this will make me back down. Wow. Straight up Matrix bullshit. What do you got, Sonia? This hallway. There's a strange feeling to it now. It's as if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movements. I don't think it's invisible.
I am concerned.
Is it just me? They're not invisible. I can clearly see them. I guess we check these first. Dojo's open. Let's look inside. Is this dojo? Some of the strange things that make me think there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense. What is this? Is it a manga? The title is Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. Oh, we should read that. Why is a manga like with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this? Let's start with history first, class.
Hey,
Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then what's the first you ask? That depends on the person. Just as I thought, Monokuma made this. It totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can even do that. Fine. Fine, I'll look at it. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is. I took the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. An introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school with the privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders in various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system, the Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty were hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy is now available to the talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began to further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident happened. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right. It was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Huh? Maybe it was so sudden. It's like a manga that suddenly canceled in the middle of its run. Plus, these three phrases mentioned at the end of this manga. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. These things are so melodramatic, there's no way these incidents would happen, right? This manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know the details, but... No. It'd be just a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. Apparently I learned something because of this. Reserve Department. The department was only built to collect money. I was one of those Reserve Corps students, right?
But hold on.
That's weird. Oh, you're here again. Hi. That's the thing that's weird. Is you, of course. Huh?
Hey!
Why did you forget that you were part of the Reserve Department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So, I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that. What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Based on my assumptions, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of the Reserve Corps students.
I got it!
Or you willingly steal those memories yourself. How? You wanted everyone to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that ever embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memories of what happened. Happens pretty often. Not that I know anything about that, Are you saying it's my fault that I forgot? That's not it.
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you can always get angry. You always get angry. Try to brush it off. That's expected of a Reserve Corps student. Damn it, what the heck? There's a bunch of wood blockers. Each of them has a traditional looking wood block key sticking out of them. Is they're just for show? There's nothing particular that looks like a clue. I think we're good here. I guess we'll go over to the garden area. Oh no, it's blocked. I guess it's over to the, you were here a second ago.
What's going on?
It's always kind of creepy. I can't go places that I should be able to go. For some reason, some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's an invisible wall or something. I would have thought we could have gone through here. Wait, this opened. What is this one? Another manga? This one is Manga for Morons, The Tragedy of Hope Peak Academy. Wasn't that mentioned in the other manga? Why is Hope Peak Academy? It's why Hope Peak Academy went bankrupt. It was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. I read this manga. Will I be able to learn a little bit more about that incident? I took the manga from the desk and flipping through the pages. To see what I could learn about the event known as the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated, stylized drawings, making characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy occurred at Hope Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamakura. Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope Peak Academy had used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such a rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most students of the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who was known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope Peak Academy Student Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, brutally murdered by Izuru. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talents and concealed the incidents that would never happen. However, certain students began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge known public, it stoked the fires of reverse course students everywhere who had been dissatisfied with how they were being treated, and the uprising began. That heralded the Hope Peak Academy's destruction. That is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in the entire of human history. Called Works Cited Danganronpa 0? What? The heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope Peak Academy. What irony. For a genius known as the Ultimate Hope to cause such a gruesome incident, a talent like that must be too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should really be lucky that you're so incompetent. But Ultimate Hope. I think I mentioned that before too, but it looks like there's some meaning. It means something completely different here. I thought something was the meaning of true hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given out one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve corps. That's right, the reserve department. Here, since the reserve corps students were in the reserve corps department, began uprising. What about me? Was I a participant? No, that's not possible. There's no way. I'd have no reason to do something like that. Anyway, I've learned all about the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is far worse, isn't it, right? What kind of incident was it? And who was this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who is that? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mystery just keeps piling up. I didn't see a hidden Monokuma in this room. Where do you send me to? Same hallway? Same hallway. Need to find a different door. Here we go. Inside. Another one. Oh, I see him. What the hell is this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. Hurry up and investigate so we can get out of here. Hello.
I've been found.
Another manga. The title is this time the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history? Knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped I was right. A story about a creepily drawn character who gets involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with a sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Week Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Week Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading out all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students. Huh. Various people of various races and nations began joining it, but the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. But then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon, the weak formed factories to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths at this point, to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world had realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had already happened. Acts of terrorism, coups d'etats began occurring all around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress in such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain origin, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called the Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy for Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and the influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as the ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history? This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, all of them. What happened to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this? Ah, you don't like manga? A high school student doesn't like manga is like an officer who doesn't like to eat candy. I love me my manga. I've actually been reading manga since I think I was in high school, funny enough. Enough. What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you to not remember that is such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though. Thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. Did this really happen? And I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues in here are real.
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer from it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives to the outside world. I see, so that's how it is. That's what he meant at the beginning. He's trying to make us feel despair towards the outside world, so we want to stay on this island. There's no one going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope, just like it is now. No. Perhaps. That's definitely it. We know that this doesn't really happen. What in the world is this ultimate despair group? And they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction. Are they connected both to the tragedy and the Hope's Peak Academy triggered tragedy? Plus, that organization just isn't one person, but a group of people. They're known as the Ultimate Despair. They're high schooler students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then, are the killings that were involved in connected to them as well? No use. I'm gonna freeze to death. I'm at my limit. Need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. That was close. I nearly froze to death. No, I should ignore it. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see him.
Hiya!
I was like, what happens if I click on him? I mean, I know now, but I hope you're doing pleasantly well. Are you pleasantly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here?
No.
Well, there's another thing I need to tell you on this floor. I get bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? I should have done that from the very beginning. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm really getting fed up with your babbling. Hurry up and tell me what you need me to do. It's about the key piece of information you've been waiting on so long. Surprise! It's about the ultimate despair. You just giving that to me? Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days,
Actually,
it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, feared person alive. A high school girl?
yes, indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima.
Hey,
As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor. and created the Ultimate Despairs. There's one really horrible person in that group.
Don't fuck with me!
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the Ultimate Despairs are, but it's not easy. It's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their own philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. The trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her classmates' ability to attract people, or with her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the higher echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she recruited people who wouldn't have been in a position to neutralize the threat? What was their purpose? What? She said. Why didn't they cause that incident? Doesn't even make sense. They had it on purpose, right? There's no way they do what they did without any purpose.
hey,
It was Junko Enoshima's despair. For Junko, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principle, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime's a human, and it's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima was full of so much despair that she was truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair. The hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. Oh, actually, it needs to go the other way. Oh. I didn't mean for them to pop out like that. We're gonna find out here in a sec. That's the worst part about this right now. There's nothing I can do about what's back there. What's backed up in my sinuses. I can't do anything about it. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, really anything. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea has been slammed right into their minds. And so, the ultimate despairs who've been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, all was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god, like a mother providing food to her children, they dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends, and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it all off, they completely believed it was something they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is even possible. Do you know about the final days of the reserve corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days?
in other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. What do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
of course.
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, the 2,357 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide. Jesus fuck. Like, really? Mass suicide?
What'd you say?
All 2,023.57 students? Oh, isn't all of them. One person was excluded. Oh. Is that me?
Damn it!
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair, Junko Enoshima. Doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko's already dead. Huh? All right, let's look at our truth bullets. What we have. Wow. All right. This has been a little harder because, like, I've been having a hard time like, breathing properly. Trying to do everything I can to sort of prevent my sinuses from clogging the back of my throat. But that's it for the set. Let's find out what the hell happens. So we now know this was something they alluded to happening in Danganronpa 1, but we never really found out anything about it up until now. So now we actually know what the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was. Besides, like, somebody going apeshit and killing people, which is what I originally thought it was a mass suicide. Wow. Also, that's about, like, the size of my high school suiciding, which is disturbing in its own right, but yeah. So that's it for this set. I want to thank you guys for watching. Whether or not you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, you guys are all awesome. If you're watching on YouTube, you want to come watch me record live, in the descriptions below this video, you will find a link to my Twitch channel. If you're on if you're watching this on Twitch, you already know where my channel is. But if you want to go back and look at old VODs and see things I've done in the past, that's all there, so you can go do it. In the info section, there's a link to my YouTube channel wherever you see that. Let's keep going in the next set and figure out what else we can learn about Hope's Peak Academy and the things that have happened there. But before I head out, I do need more kindness from each and every one of you guys. I want you to have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, whatever happens to be wherever you are at. And I'm going to see you guys in the next set, and we'll learn more about what's going on at Hope's Peak Academy. Later.